So let me explain how this works if you don't know how that works. So journalists, Jen and I have been filing a lot of freedom of information requests, particularly for the Flint story. Journalists put in for freedom of information requests. And thank you, Christina Bent, $4.99. I feel smarter after my status coup group sessions. We're going to put that in a promo video. We want you to feel smarter. We want you to get activated. We want you to get righteously indignant. Not angry, but righteous indignation is good. So, and this is a super chat. I haven't seen a lot of superness. So thank you, Christina. So they're basically Amazon. So if I put in a freedom of information request to Amazon and I want Jeff Bezos emails or other executives from the companies, or I want documents, or I want data, or I want emails about their working conditions, or I want emails about them talking about Bernie Sanders, if I want anything, as soon as I put in that freedom of information request, the Freedom of Information department within the Virginia Commonwealth is going to give a little, it's like a flare, a little, a little, what do they have that in Harry Potter? A little owl? They're going to send a little owl to Amazon. Hey, this guy's looking into this. And then Amazon is going to proactively then try to shut it down. You know what the definition of fascism is, folks? Definition of fascism is the merger between the corporate and the government. Corporate and government state merging is one. It's not just, horrendous genocide, but it's censorship and the merging of the corporate and bureaucratic state. So basically, Virginia, which, by the way, has awful freedom of information laws, Virginia is basically going to be giving a heads up to Amazon whenever anyone files a freedom of information request, so Amazon could take protective action. In English, it's like the mob giving you a call. Hey, they're coming. Bury the stuff. Get rid of the guns. Get rid of the cocaine. Thank you, Amit Campbell, $10 in the super chat. I mean, the corruption is like, it's kind of like Trump in a way. Oh, thank you. We just got a $50 anonymous donor in the GoFundMe and a $10 donor, Kelly Elaine, bringing us on the GoFundMe to $20,090. $20,090. Our goal for the end of November is $25,000. It is ambitious, but I think we could get there, and we're off to a good start. Well, it's November 13th, so we have a little over half the month. Everybody who's contributed, we can't thank you enough. Jen's going to do a video to get a little more specific with you what we need the funds for. We're already showing you by getting out there in the field, and we want to do a lot more of it. So thank you. Obviously, Super Chat is great too. So if you want to do GoFundMe, Super Chat, whatever floats your boat. But, I mean, the corruption is out of control. They're literally putting in writing that we're moving to Northern Virginia so we could have, so we could play Twist. What's that game where you, Twister? Twister, I think. So we could play Twister, and we could go smoke cigars in back rooms with the regulators and the think tanks and the journalists. And basically, we could have the government work for us and be a heartbeat away from the government. Right there in writing. We're moving there so we could have heads ups. Could you believe that? Literally, a state government telling a corporation, we'll give you a heads up, all the freedom of information requests that come in. And you want to, everybody's ranting about Jim Acosta's press pass being taken away. Now, I think CNN's Jim Acosta is pretty awful. I also think it's un-American and unconstitutional for his press pass to be taken away. But why do we only care about the visual of CNN's reporter having his press pass yanked, which, by the way, CNN sued for today? They should. I think he's bad at his job, but that doesn't mean you can't have censorship like that. You can't have... Trump is not a dictator, even though he'd like to be, so they can't be yanking press passes. It's against the Constitution. But isn't it also a threat to democracy when basically journalists' freedom of information requests are being passed off and you're giving, like Paul Revere, the British is coming, like you're giving to Amazon heads up that the journalists are coming and this is exactly what they're looking into? So it gives them a heads up, hey, make sure if there's a problem here with whatever the specific request is. Tim, aren't those for journalists? Yes, they are. The thing is, there are freedom of information requests. So if I file a freedom of information request, the state agency, it's for filing information requests for government, But it's basically saying if I filed a freedom of information request, let's say for the federal government's communications with Amazon or Jeff Bezos or anything having to do with Amazon, but the state government is then going to give Amazon a heads up of it. Wacky. That is wacky. Again, under agreement between Amazon and Virginia, the Commonwealth will give the company written notice about any FOIA requests that have to do with Amazon to allow the company to seek a protective order or other appropriate remedy. What a protective order means is to try and basically block that information from getting out. So if Jeff Bezos has something to hide when it comes to working conditions, if Jeff Bezos has something to hide as far as lawsuits filed by his workers, if Jeff Bezos has something to hide as far as accidents at the workplace, injuries, deaths, well, Amazon's going to get a heads up if journalists are looking into that. Denise says, welcome to the United Corporations of America. Welcome. I think we're going to make a shirt. About the United Corporations of America. And by the way, I did come up with that, but you're welcome to steal it and play it off as your own. So that's it, folks. And I'm in New York. I would expect that there's going to be some protests against this factory, this headquarters. So if there are, I will definitely cover that here in New York. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez also went on a tweet storm earlier today, speaking out against this for the same reasons I am. Why isn't that money going to the community, for education, for infrastructure? Our priorities in this country are out of whack because we're not a country, we're a corporation. That's the truth.